Gather out of dream dust, earth dust, cloud dust, storm dust, and splinters of hail, one handful of dream dust, not for sale? Not for sale. Huh? It looks like Lion didn't make much of that poem. Well, not every poem is for everyone. Oh look, it's Bear. Bear loves poetry, and he's a big fan of Langston Hughes. I wonder if he'll feel the same way as Lion did about reading the poem Dream Dust. Dream Dust. Dream Dust. Oh. Gather out of stardust, earth dust, cloud dust, storm dust, and splinters of hail. One handful of dream dust, not for sale. Wow, 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 wow. Wowzers. Wow, what a poem. What a poem. What a poem. Mr. Langston Hughes, I promise I'd never trade my dream dust for anything. Not for all the honey in the world. So Lion and Bear just read the same poem by Langston Hughes, didn't you guys? But I'm sure you noticed that they did not feel the same way about that poem, did you? Not at all. Lion, you didn't think very much of that poem. It seemed like you thought it was kind of boring, huh? But Bear, you had the opposite feeling. You thought that that poem was utterly enchanted and magical. Yeah, I have to say, I kind of agree with Bear. I think that was a really wonderful poem. I wonder if maybe you and I could help give Lion some tips about how to enjoy poetry and how to make the most of it. Sound good to you, Lion? Want to give it a try? Awesome. I'm glad that you're being open-minded about it. Let's see. How to enjoy poems. How to enjoy poems. Well, I can't tell you exactly how to make poems magical, but I think I can tell you what tools you need to help make poems really come to life. The first tool that you'll need to make poems magical... Hey, Lion, where are you going, bud? Does that mean that you think that you can use a wrench to make poems more magical? What do you think? Is a wrench the right tool for that job? No, it's not a wrench. Would you like to guess again? Alright, let's see what you come up with. A hammer? What are you going to do? Bash the poems into being magical? I don't think so. How about one more guess, Lion? No hints, okay, Bear? Let Lion think for herself. I don't think that the drill is going to help make poems magical. No. Usually the tools we use to make poems magical are not carpentry tools. The first tool that you'll need is your head. Go ahead and check to make sure that you have a head today. It should be right on top of your body. Lion found her head. Bear found his head. Give her head 3 knocks to help it wake up. Ready? Your head adds your imagination, your questions, your ideas to a poem. And that helps poems be magical. All right. Next, you will need your belly. So go ahead and reach in the middle of your body and give your belly a tickle to make sure that it's working. Is your belly working? Great. Your belly's super important because your belly adds your feelings to a poem to make them more magical. The last tool that you'll need to make poems magical is your heart. Check to make sure that your heart is beating, because it absolutely must be beating if we're going to make these poems magical today. Ready? Go ahead and close your eyes. Put your hands on the middle of your chest, just like Lion and Bear are doing, and listen for the beat. Lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. Is your heart beating? Phew. That's really good news. We can't read poems and make them magical without your heart. Your heart is what lets you share a poem with the author who wrote the poem and with everyone else who reads it. And sharing poems makes them way, way more magical. Don't you think, Bear? Well, now that we've got all the tools we need, we've got our imagination, we've got our feelings, and we've got our hearts for sharing, let's take a look at some more poems by Langston Hughes, and we'll see if you can find a way to make them magical. Bouquet.
Gather quickly out of darkness all the songs you know and throw them at the sun before they melt like snow. Let's read it once more. Gather quickly out of darkness all the songs you know and throw them at the sun before they melt like snow. How do you feel when you hear this poem? What do you imagine? What questions do you have? Gather quickly out of darkness all the songs you know and throw them at the sun before they melt like snow.
To me, it means grab every little piece of beauty you can. Yeah, I like that line. Go and grab another one. Grab all the beauty you can and throw it out into the light of the sun so that everybody can see it sparkle. Pretty magical if you ask me. You felt the magic that time? You did? I'm so glad. Oh, you guys are such good buddies. Would you like to take a look at another poem, Lion? Why don't you pick the next one? You want to read the poem called Heaven? How about you, Bear? Does that sound good to you? You want to read all the poems in this huge book? I know you really love poetry. Let's take a look at Heaven by Langston Hughes. Heaven is the place where happiness is everywhere. Animals and birds sing, as does everything. To each stone, how do you do? Stone answers back, well, and you? A talking stone. Have you ever talked to a stone before? You have? Did you guys have a good conversation? That's really interesting. So I guess that this poem really rings true for you, doesn't it, Bear? Let's read it one more time.
Heaven is the place where happiness is everywhere. Animals and birds sing, as does everything. To each stone, how do you do? Stone answers back, well, and you? What feelings did you find in that poem? What does it make you think about or imagine? What do you think Langston Hughes is trying to share with us?
I think we have time for one more poem. I'd like to read one more. Would you guys join me? Would you join us too? Bear, why don't you pick? You want to read Aspiration? Let's do it. Aspiration. I wonder how it feels to do cartwheels. I sure would like to know. To walk a high wire is another desire in this world before I go. I wonder how it feels to do cartwheels. I sure would like to know. To walk a high wire is another desire in this world before I go.
Do you know how it feels to do cartwheels? Have you ever walked on a high wire before? Is that something you would like to try? What's something else that you've never tried that you would really, really like to do?
It seems to me that all the poems that we read by Langston Hughes are really about filling life with magic, just like we're filling these poems with magic. You guys feel that way too? So Lion, do you think maybe you'd like to read a few more poems another day? I'm really glad to hear that. I know that you'll join us, right, Bear? I thought so. Thanks so much for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed these poems. There's a lot more where they came from.